So if you have any questions for us, we want to welcome you to email either technical support questions. You can email support@boundarysys.com. And you can also email if you have any questions regarding the add-on module here that we're going to show you today, or any other products, services, training, implementation that Boundary Systems does offer. You can contact sales@boundarysys.com. And we encourage you to follow the link at the bottom if you have any other further questions regarding Creo 4.0, ptc.com/CAD/Creo_4. We're going to start off here and talk a little bit about a precursor to the GD&T Advisor, and that's an offering that Boundary Systems has for a CAD-agnostic offering for the understanding and an introduction to geometric tolerancing training course. So it's a 3-day course. Overview in this class, students will be shown how to interpret design drawings and CAD representation, product definitions. They use modern geometric tolerance standards. The class includes a step-by-step procedure to apply the practices and allows dimensioning and tolerancing professionals to express their design requirements clearly. So a few prerequisites here. Users who take this class should have familiarity with the basic drawing creation for design and manufacturing. And then the objectives that we cover over the 3-day length include symbols, rules, and principles instituted by the ASME standards, basic GD&T, advanced GD&T, inspection techniques and sources of measurement uncertainty, and tolerancing mating parts and assemblies. And there's some required books there that go along with this courseware. But I definitely recommend you taking this course as a precursor and getting the most out of the value and understanding GD&T and how it applies to your products and how you can apply it to your products moving forward. So we'll move into the discussion here and talk a little bit about Creo GD&T Advisor. So Creo GD&T Advisor is an extension to Creo Parameteric 4.0. It provides both an expert guidance on the application of GD&T and validation that it has been done correctly. When your model is complete, you can be confident that it complies with the relevant standard and is fully constrained. Creo GD&T Advisor also improves your productivity when applying GD&T, reducing the number of mouse clicks and time required by up to 75% in some instances. The software simplifies understanding of the complex GD&T standards by providing readily available guidance during every step of the application process. Rule sets included are the ASME Y145-2009, ISO 11001-2012, and their associated standards. So a few capabilities, as I mentioned here, you can see we do cover the capabilities in the standards, and we try to keep up with them the best that we can, or PTC does, in their software, and keep that information updated as we move through these different module builds of the software. So as of right now, these are a few of the guides that we do meet the compliance and standards for. So a little bit about the value and key benefits involved here. A simple, well-defined product leads to less scrap and rework. You improve your designers and engineers' capabilities. With each design, their GD&T knowledge is going to improve. So some key benefits include increased productivity, reduced costs, provides consistency across your products as you develop them now, eliminates mistakes due to human error, and improves design communications, reducing the chance of misinterpreted or ambiguous information. And it has an enhanced GD&T understanding. With using the software here, you're going to get a guidance along with it. You're going to get some knowledge built into you as you go through this process and start utilizing it a little bit more, so that each time you go through this product, hopefully the goal is to reduce the amount of time you're spending in having to apply these, because as you've gone through the process, you've understood this and can apply it to the next product as you move forward here. So as you'll see here, this is the interface inside of Creo. As you open up Creo, it's going to be another tab here under Applications. This is an add-on product for PTC Creo. So if you need to find out a little bit more about the pricing or its offerings there, you can reach out to sales@boundarysys.com and we can cover that for you. But you're going to go to the Applications tab here, and you'll see here you have a GD&T Advisor. And once you go into the Advisor, you're going to have a separate tab here. We'll talk more about this in depth and some of the offerings here. But you can see it's a very short list of some of the information that you can provide, creating your tolerance features, patterning out tolerances, establishing your design references, and editing out those properties as you build this out. This, again, is a product from Sigmetrics, so it's supported by Sigmetrics and PTC, and is up to version 3.0 for Creo right now. So again, the ease of use and capabilities, it's going to guide users. So the basic premise here we want you to understand is you don't have that great of an understanding here. It's going to walk you through a process. And as you go through this process, you're going to get an advisor at the bottom of the page. We'll show you this in the tree that's going to be attached to your screen as you start to build this out. And it's going to help to educate you as you move through this. It ensures your models are meeting your GD&T requirements as you go through. So as you can see here, over on the right-hand side I'm showing here, we have a model that we have opened up. And as I go through this, some of the advisor information that I'm being provided at the bottom of the page here, I can right mouse button select over, select on more help, and it'll open up my page here and explain a little bit more about the process that's taking place, or that it's trying to identify as an issue or an open issue for you here. So you can read through that information, better understanding of where that's trying to achieve its goals, then go back and address any of those issues that you may not have framed properly. So again, we talked about simple and intuitive. The symbols, you're going to see a new dashboard here. For those of you that have not seen Creo 4.0, we'll show you some of the new interface and what it looks like inside of the GD&T and the Advisor product, so you can get this. As you go into the GD&T Advisor, you're going to get another feature model tree that's available to you. And again, this is going to help you understand and go through some of the information that you're going to build out as you go through your GD&T processes here. So you'll get this information. This is all valuable information that you can easily right-click and get to and highlight on your models, change the information fast, efficiently, and get the most out of it as quickly as possible and move your product down the line into manufacturing. So one of the other capabilities that is involved with this is pulling up old data sets that you have created before. So you may have some old models you've done in Wildfire 4, Wildfire 5. Some of the companies of you that might be going into model-based definition right now, you may have started this process years ago. You may have some old models you want to go back and take a look at. So there is a seamless integration with Creo Parameteric, same user interface inside of Creo. We're just going to, again, hit the applications button to go inside of it. It gives you a separate model tree to help you streamline your processes as you go through this. And as you open up your old data sets, or any set of data for that matter, if you've shown annotations or created any annotations inside of that model, you're going to get this little window across the bottom here. And you're going to notice that it's non-GD&T Advisor annotations. What that's simply pointing out is that you've got some annotations that are already in your models. You want to use those again, fine, you can go ahead and keep them inside of your models, or we can scrap whatever ones we don't want to use. And maybe we want to make sure that we've got the proper techniques and everything applied to these GD&T tolerances. So we can go ahead and delete those and then use the advisor to walk through the process and ensure that we do have these built out properly. So don't worry about any of those products you've created already. They're still good and may add some value in here, and just going back and evaluating some of those GD&T processes you've added along the way here. So as you build these models out, one of the other extra steps that has been involved here inside of Creo, they've added the capabilities now for step AP242 support. And this is going to give you the abilities for sharing this data outside of the Creo environment and ensuring that we can send data sets for annotations or anything like that. Again, if we're in this MBD process where we're going to a paperless environment, or a process where we're going to move to a digital manufacturing process and we're just sending the data set, we're not including any of our engineering paperwork that we had before, these models will come out in a step format. We can select on those dimensions, and we're going to get some feedback onto our models. Also support for JT, and again, one of the popular ways that we would like to use this data and move it forward would be using Creo View and using the Creo View Express to take a look at these parts. Once again, the user interface for the Creo Views has been simplified. As we select on these features, things are going to highlight for us. You can see in the picture that I have on the screen right now, I have a tolerance that's called out here. I've selected on it, and it's highlighted the surface that's being referenced inside of that tolerance. So very valuable information as you're sharing and you're creating this moving forward here. Okay. So let's jump in and take a look at the software and see how we can take a look at this information. So I'm going to start out in this part here. It's a gripper link. This is a data set that PTC has created for demonstration purposes for Creo 4. So we'll walk through this, and we're going to use this information to share with you here and show you some of the basic premises. So as we mentioned here, this is the new Creo 4 user interface. A little bit different. You can see a little bit cleaner glean to the ribbon interface here and some of the layouts as we move through this. Some of us are going to be a little bit culture shocked as we go through and see some of the ways that old dialog boxes that we've been used to for quite some time have now moved to the dashboard, and make it a lot easier for us to move in and get some information and create that as fast as possible. So what we'd like to do is, this is going to start off with a quick demonstration of showing you some of the old techniques. And the reason I'm going to show you some of this is I want to just walk you through some of the techniques that you would manually use to create some of this process, then show you through the advisor some of the ease of use that you're going to get in this process as well. So we have a part here, and I'm going to start off by going into the annotate mode by switching to the annotate tab. And I'm going to start off, let's just show basic dimension here. And what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and show a dimension right here on my surface. Got that dimension there, it's ready to go. That closed. I'm going to show this dimension. Nope, that one's okay. Cancel that one out there. So I have my dimension here. Move it up out of the way. And if I wanted to throw a geometric tolerancing on that, I simply just go to the GD&T functionality up at the top here, select on my dimension that I want, adds it right into this dimension now. And I can go ahead, and as you can see, as I select that in here, highlighted is my GD&T. I can go in here, change my values if I need to. Let's change a value here, give it a value of 0.3. If I want to change any of this information where I'm at here, I can just simply use the pull down tab, go to this, we'll just leave this as the position right now. And we have our dimension in place, ready to go. And again, if we need to add some information here, nice new functionality that I'd like to show you. We want to add some text maybe to this. We can go to additional text, and we get the ability here. We can add text here. Get the ability to move that text around whatever way we want, left, right, center it. Change the font if we want to on that text. We can add any notes anywhere, left, right, or the bottom of these notes here. And again, we have the control to move those where we feel fit. So we want to create a datum here. So I'll create a datum feature. And as you can see, again, I'm just dragging it over here, and I'm going to hit the witness line with it and put it into position. You'll notice as it's building it out, it's creating my positional information. And next available would be that next guide that comes into place here and shows us where we're at with our information on this. All right, so let's go to another view here. Change to a view here. And we're going to go ahead, let's go and show our annotations. And we've got the pattern here for the one hole. Select the hole. Okay. Go in again. And we've got our dimensions here. Let's change the values. Maybe we want to show 3 place on that. Change that there. Go to the tolerance. Maybe we want to change the tolerance to the hole here. Let's go plus 0.3. Maybe minus 1,000. Add text to this. Again, as I select on this, you'll notice I'm selecting on the dimension, and I get my user interface here. Dimensional text, I can put my information here. Here's my old symbols library I was used to seeing in the past. It's now integrated right into the dashboard here, so I can go ahead and make any changes or modifications. I'll go before my text, make any changes I want there. Maybe I want to go into that text here and tell it value 4 times. And I can add that in there. Once again, go in there. Through a hole. And you can see we have that in. So let's go ahead and let's add in the value here. So I've got this here. Come back in, let's throw another GD&T. And we'll come through and just going to select on the dimension again that I want this attached to. Go up here, let's change this. Give it some concentricity. Tell it we're going to be concentric here where we're going through. So you can see as I'm going through and building this out, it's putting my information where I need it to be. If I need to add text, if I need to add the text here, maybe I want to call it a minimal material requirement. So I can go there, go to my symbols, and select on that, and add that directly to my text. You can see here the string includes a size modifying symbol that is not allowed. So if you add in some information that's not a good fit for that, you're going to get some quick feedback here. It tells you that information is not valid and allow you to just go back. You can leave it in there, but it's going to guide you and tell you you've got some wrong information in that. So we can go back into that. Just to mention here, we can go over here and we can select our references, and we can pick up the holes for the references we want to use. And select OK there. All right, so that's the basic general information. They're showing you dimensions. So let's go to one more tab here. And we'll show you again inside here. We're just going to create a basic dimension. We go ahead and select on the surfaces here to create reference dimension we want to show. Show it on the surface here. A created dimension, same dashboard user interface here. I can put in the text here that it's a reference dimension if I want. And once I get into this and I finish up this, typically what I'd like to do is, I'll teach this in the classes, I go through my classes, is we want to come up here and we want to go to an update. And I'm just ensuring that anytime I've gone through and I've created those dimensions, got my view orientation changed, I've got that view orientation set up so that I can see all that information and set that up properly again. So we can build this out. This information is now valuable. We can send this along. And again, as we're sharing this information with our clients or our suppliers who are looking at this information becomes one that it gives the information directly to them on the screen. And they can select on that, see where the surfaces are that they're picking on, or the dimensions as they select them and go through that. So again, as we export these out, that information, whether it's a Creo file, a JT support, or a Step 242 file, that information and these annotations that we're creating here are now taking the place of the paper environment that they are typically used to. So we want to make this information as valuable as possible, and the single source of information being our part model here. So let's make sure we've got all this covered in this. So that's a basic understanding of creating these by default, creating them on the fly using the old standard GD&T processes here. So we're going to jump over to another part and take a look at the usage here. And we're going to take a look at the GD&T Advisor. So we have a simple bracket here that we're going to show you. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to use the GD&T Advisor this time. So what we'll do is we're going to come up to the top here and select Applications. And we're going to turn on the GD&T Advisor. So now that we're in the Advisor, we're going to get some information here. Let's point it out real quick to you so you can see what's going on. You'll notice along the left-hand side here, we have model trees that have been replaced. We have a feature tree that's showing the part model we're working on. And we also have an advisor tree along the bottom here. And as I told you, we can take a look here. And this is basically being our guide for the system and showing us what we need to take care of, some information or some highlighted things that need to be addressed for this GD&T process here. So you can see not all part DOF are constrained. And if I want to learn a little bit more, maybe I don't understand what the prompt is telling me there, I can right click on it. I can go to my more information here. And I can see not all parts are defined, or the DOF are constrained here. Get a little bit of the feedback, go through that, go back to my part, and I can continue working on it and modifying that as well. You'll notice up at the top here, this is the dashboard that becomes available for the GD&T Advisor. You'll notice you have the tolerance features. You can tolerance patterns, establish your design references, edit your properties, update that information. And then we have this ability to show, hide, and constrain the states for those processes. So let's take a quick look here. We're going to go in and we're going to create our first feature. So I've selected tolerance, and what it's looking for is, well, where are you going to start at? Where are you going to take a look at your first definition? Where would you like to begin this? Let's start by selecting the top surface, the left mouse button. You'll get a little interface here, add feature, and it's showing you that surface. We'll go ahead and select accept here. And the designer plate information that becomes available to us here, we've got the planar surface that's available. It's showing us it's a GD&T scheme that we want to use. And maybe we want to use, you'll notice here as I go into this, it's highlighting the two that are available to me, or it's suggesting that, hey, these are what we're offering as the best available to you at this time. So you can see you've got flatness and you have profile of the surface. So let's go ahead and let's select the profile of the surface. Let's give it a value here. Maybe we want to call this 0.05. Select that. And you'll notice here it's going to give us a label for that as well as A. All right, so we'll check this off. And we have our profile here for our dimension and the surface that it's attached to. So as you can see, over on the left-hand side in the model tree, you have the camera tilt. You have the planar pair here, the surfaces that are selected. There's been a planar datum A set up and established, and your tolerance value for that planar surface that you want to use there. And you'll see here now, the DRF is not fully referenced here. So you're getting some information as I'm building these out and adding this into this. We're creating this. So the other process involved with this, so we're using the GD&T Advisor but we're going to still need to use some of the digital information that we have inside of part model. So I'm going to go over here to my annotate tab, and I'm going to show my annotations. Let's take a look at our active planes right now, and we're using the front. Look at the front setup here, and let's show a dimension here for the whole. Just got this whole dimension here. Change its orientation here. Let's try that again. Sorry about that. So as I'm calling out my whole dimension here, I've got the tolerancing here. So I'm going to go back. I've shown my dimension here. Go back over, and I'm going to go back into my GD&T Advisor. And this is where I can start sharing this information back from my tolerance feature. Let's do that again. Let's close that out. Do that again. Sorry, guys. Just got my tolerance features here. And you can see I'm going to select on the whole here to begin to apply tolerance. Got my dimension, I'll pull it up here. Clean it up a little bit. I show lines here. And you'll notice we've got the tolerance size here. I'm going to pull it down and change it to a basic whole, basic size here. And pull down, I've got the profile here of the surface, concentricity. So let's go ahead and change this here. Let's give it a value. So our dimension here, pull it up, and I'll change this here from a normal. Let's go ahead and set this value 0.03, and then let's give it a minus value 0.01. Accept that. And we have this selected here, so we'll go ahead and pick up on the datum. Come on. And if we do this right, basic size here, profile. We can change here. We can add our tertiaries, basic dimensioning in here as well, and get this all covered up for those dimensions that we want to add in here. Once we get that added, apologize, it's not playing right, a little bit finicky. Get that set up there. And you can see the information gets filled out, gets right into our dimension, adds in any of the information we need for the datum groups or datum sets. And once again, Once we start applying these and we've got them in the model, we can just go through the process and select on these, and we're going to get this user format that goes back to the old annotations tab, uses the new dimensions framework here for the dashboard so that we can edit any of the information. We can go into any one of these processes and it'll change. You'll notice from the advisor, so I've created this inside of the tolerance feature advisor. This feature is now available to me inside of my annotate, and I can go ahead and make any changes. So I'll highlight on that, make any change to the text in here or the values that I want. Maybe I want to pick up some more references. Right now I've got the hole here. Let's pick up a few more holes to add to that as reference. Select OK to that. And again, maybe we want to come into the text, and we're going to call this out in the text. There we got dimension. Call this out here 8 times. Put those values in there. And we're in. So as you can see, a lot easier when it was picked properly and you make the right picks on this. You can go through here. Should be a lot faster for you. And again, as we said, we're creating these dimensions, we're showing this information, and we're going back and using our GD&T Advisor. We're getting some of these values here that are going to reflect in here and give us some more basic information and allow us to add in here. So you can see DRF, again, this 0 value tolerance is not allowed. So you can look there, you can see you got a 0 tolerance on this value. So we can go back into it. Go to our properties for it. And we can change this information and fit this as this information is being called out for us, and make sure that we've got this set up properly. All right, so that's just a quick basic overview of the GD&T Advisor. And again, let me show you, as we come down here, as you've made changes and we go through and anything that's been updated on this, as we go back into this information, we go back to the GD&T Advisor, it's going to prompt us and give us an information set here to tell us the changes that have been made to the CAD model that have caused a data mismatch with the GD&T Advisor data set. So it recommends that you synchronize that information, just resyncs it, brings it up to date for you. So the last thing I want to show you here is we go into the show and hide constraint states. You get down to the bottom here, we have a little legend. Shows you the information. You've got fully constrained data sets on this model here, so it's showing you the surfaces that are fully constrained. Partially constrained information, maybe you've got some of the constraints set up that are not set up entirely. So this will highlight those surfaces for you and again give that basic information back to you so you can go back, use the GD&T Advisor to fix those errors that you see along the way. Under constrained or unconstrained information leaves at the gray modeling here. And you notice the bottom here, constrained by surface profile and a note. So if we click on this one here, we can go ahead and we can add in our information. We want to add in a new note here, update this. We can add our text in, and as we add in the notes for that, we create the note in here, we drop it in, and we're going to get the notes section inside of this as well. So instead of using a dimension here, we'll use the notes. Those will come over here, and then information is being fed and kept alongside this as well. Once again, as we save this out, export it to our format here that we want to share, the neutral file format. We send that, and that information is again shared along with the data sets. So that's a quick understanding and an overview of the GD&T Advisor process and user interface. I hope we can answer some of those questions for you if you've had any there. And let's take a look real quick here. Let's see if we've got any questions along the way here. Again, I want to thank those of you that have joined us here and see if we've got any questions along the way. So let's go and open this up here. And does anybody have any questions for us right now? Give it a few minutes here, let some questions come in. Okay. So I'm not seeing any questions come up right now, but if you'd like some more information on this or you'd like a more in-depth user guided tour of this, let us know, and we can set something up with the sales team and set up a time to do a webinar or come on site and show this information for you. Oh, looks like I had a question come in here. Take a quick look. So the question that I have here is, can you give some pricing information for the GD&T Advisor? I have to take a look at that and see what that is. I'll send out an updated email to the list of attendees here, again with these data sheets for you, and get the pricing on the GD&T Advisor so that we can share that with you. I believe there's a TLO that's running at this time. So let me get the information for you for that. And if you're on the attendee list for this, we'll send that to you, make that available to you. And as we post this webinar, we'll put that information up there as well. Any other questions? All right. I misspoke. There's a question that just came in here. It says it does not come with 3.0. What I meant was the GD&T Advisor was at a level of 3.0. So take a look here for the about. This is the version 3.0 for the for Creo GD&T Advisor 3.0. This is Creo 4.0 that I am using right here. So I apologize for that. That should help out here. Okay, we've got a couple other questions coming in. Let me take a look here. So the training for this, there's really no training that we provide for this offering here. It's a pretty intuitive product that we're sharing with you. Maybe a couple hours of just user interface, going over the interface and maybe going through that. So we could set that up for you. You know, if you pick up the product, we could schedule some time for the technical team to go over that information with you. Basically, just go over the user interface, but it's pretty intuitive. Doesn't need that extra training involved or an extra course to go down the path. This is pretty user friendly and easy to pick up and use right away. So let me take a quick look. Thanks for that question there, Joe. So question here for how do we take the view states? So basically this is going to be using the same information as you are in the data set. So if you've been into an MBD class or you've gone through the process of using the annotations tab, you're still going to be able to use this in the view states that you would prior. So you could set up the MBD tabs across the bottom of your screen here for your view states, define those for the states that you would like to have, and then start representing those dimensions or the GTILs in that view state that you want to have set for that. If you're going to take this over to the next level, my recommendation is you're going to go to a detailed drawing with this. That view that you're going to be set up, you're obviously going to set it up for that view state that you're going to want to show that with. So you're going to want to associate those different dimensions, GTIL values or whatever they are, to those view states and set those accordingly inside of the drawings. If you need any help with that, we can walk you through that. We've got some pretty good background on that, and we do offer that as a service as well. So we'd be more than willing to help you. If you want to contact support at boundarysys.com, we can definitely get on a technical support call for you and show you some of that as well. Let me take a quick look here. Does the extension work with Creo 3 or older? I'll have to take a look. I do believe that this is an offering that is now only available currently inside of Creo 4, but again, I'll find out that information. We'll send an updated information pack to you as we send this out. So we'll get that answered for you. All right. Okay, so that looks like we've answered pretty much most of the questions there. Any other questions come in here? Take one last peek here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, thanks again for your time this morning, and we're going to wrap this call up here. And again, if you got any questions, feel free to contact us, support at boundarysys.com, and we'll be more than happy to jump on and answer any calls or any questions you may have for this product. Again, thanks for your time, and have a great day.